I see you've joined me for some dinner. You see, you like some dinner. You want potatoes, fried potatoes. Hi, this is David Richardson reporting live from Lansing, Michigan. As you can see, I'm making some dinner here. I think I'm going to have a quesadilla with this also. Just wanted to update on some of you. So some of you may have heard about an experience that I had recently and might be wondering about what actually happened and how I'm doing right now. If that's not you, then, well, this entire video is pointless and I'm sorry to have wasted your time. 4th of July weekend, I decided that I wanted to try to find myself a campsite for this weekend. I went with Mary, and then we ended up camping on separate locations. The campsite was part of the Manistee Forest area, and all the way up through Sunday, things were going pretty well. I was staying hydrated and trying to stay out of the sun. It was hot. So Sunday night, I get back to my tent and try to fall asleep. So when I went down to hit the hay, although in this case, because I was camping on the beach, I was hitting the sand. When I was falling asleep, I was noticing that something was kind of weird. It was kind of off, but I just thought I was tired and exhausted, so I didn't really do anything about it at that point. The following morning, Monday the 5th at 8 o'clock, I woke up. Immediately when I sat up, I noticed that my mind was there's just something wrong with my head, and I could barely even stand. I could barely walk. Everything was just spinning. It was like I was on this crazy roller coaster. When I would actually try and take a few steps, just the movement would send me in such a disoriented state that I would need to throw up. After spending some time thinking of how I could, fix myself, I realized that wasn't going to be possible. So I humbled my, my masculine desire to fix the problem myself, and I went to some people who were camping nearby, just over the next dune. Thankfully, they were pretty friendly. They offered me a spot near their campfire, got me some water and a banana. I then ate the banana over a period of 10 minutes very slowly, after which I threw it up immediately. It was a very yellow throw up, yellow vomit. At that point, they started trying to make some phone calls. They tried calling the park ranger office. No one answered there, so they just called 911 and called in for an ambulance. A couple people then went off to meet the ambulance at the trailhead because, again, this is in the middle of nowhere. Later on, I actually found out from one of the guys who told me they would have been there sooner. The EMT would have showed up. They would have arrived on the spot sooner had it not been for this bird that the state officers or whomever, they were telling the EMT to hold off because they didn't want this bird to be disturbed out of its nest. As far as I know, the bird's fine. I don't think the bird was harmed in this process. Thank God. So they showed up. They hoisted me onto this board, and they strapped me onto the board and took the board with me on it onto the beach. It was kind of fun. It was like being, raised in celebration, like I had just done something wonderful. They took me to the beach, where was waiting a ranger, which they brought in by a trailer. The ranger took me to the trailhead, which was about 1.5 miles down from where I was originally. Then they took me back out of the ranger, carried me up to the trailhead where the ambulance was waiting, lifted me up onto a stretcher, which then was put into the ambulance, which then took me to the emergency room in the hospital in Ludington. And they wheeled me into a nice little room. It was, nice square room with some good walls, some lighting. The lights actually hurt my eyes, so they turned those off. They did a series of tests. They did a EKG, a very expensive CAT scan, blood tests. All the tests came back negative, which was good. And then after a couple hours of testing and getting hydrated through the IV and getting some good drugs through the IV, my sister drove me back home. I slept most of the way. So thank you, Mary, very much for driving me and for buying my prescriptions, including the suppository, which I didn't really end up taking. And my thanks to those of you who prayed for me, brought me food, chauffeured me, and everything else that everyone did. Thank you. I appreciate that. Man, this countertop is greasy. It's disgusting. Okay, so that's better.